So the book of Ezekiel has lots of visionary language. So in chapter 1, verses 4 through 9, it says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself, and brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings, and their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went, and they went every one straight forward." So these kinds of verses are really difficult for lots of people to understand, and they're difficult for me to understand too. But when I was a kid, I felt like these were the coolest. These monsters, descriptions of visionary monsters, were the coolest parts of the Bible. These were the parts of the Bible that I highlighted in my scriptures when I was a kid, because I liked monsters, and I liked mutants, and I liked, that kind of thing. As I've grown and I've read more about symbolic language and things like that, I do think of things like wings often are a symbol for power. So these creatures symbolize something that is powerful. Whirlwinds and fires often symbolize the presence of God. The fact that these creatures go in a straight line and they don't turn means that they are, in my mind, is symbolic of they are following God's plan. And these creatures will later give Ezekiel a calling, or in the symbolic language, they give him a book that he's supposed to read. And you see this language, you see this same language in the book of Revelation with John. So in chapter 3, verse 1 here, it says, "Moreover he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll," and by roll they mean like a scroll, "and go and speak unto the house of Israel." And in verse 2 it says, "So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll." So the eating of a book is symbolic of prophets getting a calling to preach the gospel, and they get this knowledge inside them that they go and preach the gospel. And so I still think that these are fun verses, but I think that lots of time people get overwhelmed by the symbolic language. And I think that one of the reasons God speaks to us in symbolic language in the scriptures is so that you can use the Holy Spirit, and you can find different interpretations. God can give different messages to different people, because it can mean different things to different people. And so I think that God often uses symbolic language for us to be able to get different messages from him.